Alright guys, and welcome back. I wanted to make this short note on piecewise function and how to draft them. So let's go. Hey guys, and welcome back. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. Today we are going to be focusing on functions, but particularly we're going to be looking at piecewise functions. Those are functions that are defined with a condition attached to them. Together, we're going to look at one piecewise function and we're going to learn how to draft it. With that being said, my piecewise function here is going to be the function f of x equals 2, open bracket. You're going to have x plus 2 if x is less than 0, and the function is going to be equal to x squared minus 1 if x is bigger than 0, right? As you can see here, this is piecewise because the function is equal to two different algebraic expressions based on what your x is. And so how would you draft a piecewise function? Well, you would do it the exact same way you draft a regular function, by figuring out a bunch of points that you can put on your draft and then connect them. And so let's go and see what that would look like. So as usual, I'm going to pick points around the origin here so that I can have a bunch of variety, 0, negative numbers, and positive numbers. I'm going to start with the first one here as my input being -3. If I want to find f of -3 to get an output out, then what I'm supposed to do here is come to my function and looking at my conditions here, I'm supposed to look at where -3 is falling into. And as you can see here, -2 happens to be less than 0. So to figure out f of -3, I'm going to consider the first expression here of the function. And so I'm going to have -3 plus 2, and that will give me -1. Same thing for f of -2. Since x here is still less than 0, I'm going to have f of -2 being equal to -2 plus 2, which is going to give me 0. Now, f of 0 is where we have a little bit of a dilemma, but not really, because if you look at 0 here, you can see that the bottom portion here where x is greater than or equal to 0 is the part that we should use. And so for this particular 0 input, our function is going to be x squared minus 1, and so our y value is going to be just -1. F of 1 here would be, again, 1 is bigger than or equal to 0, so that's going to be 1 squared minus 1, which is equal to 0. F of 2 would be 2 squared minus 1, which is equal to 3. And so now, with all these points figured out, what I'm going to do is put them all on my plane so that I can connect them and have my piecewise function draft, and we'll be done. Starting with the point representing my first piece here, I'm going to have the point -3 and -1 here. And I'm also going to have the point -2, 0 right here. And then for my second piece, I'm going to have the point 0, -1 right here, and the point 1, 0. And finally, I'm going to have the point 2, 3 right here. Now, all I have to do here is connect those points, but one thing that's really important to know here is that since our function happens to be a piecewise function, its draft is also going to have to be a piecewise draft. So you're going to have two pieces here making up the draft of this particular function f of x. The first piece is going to be connecting these 2 points because that's going to be a line. And then the second piece is going to be connecting these 3 points and then going forever to infinity because that's a parabola. I know my first piece comes all the way from -infinity, but where does it end is my question, right? And so to figure out where your first piece ends, you should take the breaker point, which is at 0 here, and plug 0 into your first piece. And so by doing that, you're going to get x plus 2 evaluated at x equals 0, and that should give you 0 plus 2, which gives you 2. Now, this is a point that is not on the graph, but it's going to help us figure out the end of this first piece. So I'm going to put it here as an open circle to say that it's not part of the graph, it's just my end point. And so this particular first piece is going to be extended all the way to that open circle. And with that, we have the piece x plus 2 here and x squared here. And we are done. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.